It's another video from Ozzy's Robot. Brought to you by the Banana Collection.
Another product placement video? Damn. Hey everyone, welcome back. Yes, I have my thermos, my beautiful metal thermos that happens to be behind these two lovely robots still in the same spot. So in a shameless plug for this lovely metal thermos available at the Banana Collection online. Anyway, what's happening, everyone? Thank you for joining me. Glad you're here again. I hope you're comfortable. And if it's morning, grab the steaming cup of coffee and stir it up. Give it a little sweetener. Clank it a smidgen, a dollop of sugar, and get cozy in your chair. Adjust your screen, whatever it is you're doing, to finally focus and pay attention to this next interesting comparison video. Yes, this is a comparison. So if you're munching on something and you're finally got your eyes glued to the screen, let's talk about a real Robot 5 versus a reproduction Robot 5, coming on the heels of my Mighty Robot, where I offered $25,000 if you find that for me. I was going to show you all three variations of the reproduction, and then I was going to show you the original box, but then I realized I have not made a video of the Robot 5. So since I have the Robot 5 in the original box, both color versions, pink and silver, and I'm still missing the blue, I said, you know what, rather than show the three color reproductions and my pink one and this, I said, you know what, I want to devote one entire video to the Robot 5, the original, with the original box. So I'm just going to briefly touch on this one. So this is the reproduction, and if you had never seen a Robot 5 original box, you would think that that's a conceivable design, but unfortunately, this design was for the Senkai television robot, more or less. If you see my video on that, that was the one I had around Christmas and New Year's, that week where I had the $50,000 robot followed by the $50,000 space toy. You would see that this design is from that television robot, and it works well with the Robot 5. I wish they did create a box similar to this. That would have been really cool, but unfortunately they didn't. The actual real Robot 5 box, and that's why I'm going to do a separate video on that, is just a box that's the common box for the sparkling mic robot, as common as it could be, because it's not a common robot really, and it just has a different manufacturer stamp on it, and that's the only distinction. They made a lot of these versions of the robots. So when I realized, I looked through my videos and I said, I don't believe I ever actually made the videos. So that's going to be forthcoming. And in the meantime, since I had these out and I actually needed two videos to slot in, I kind of preload my videos, and I realized that in March, the first week, and I have so much stuff going on, I said, let me get something. I needed something for the, I believe it was the 8th and the 10th, if I'm not mistaken. So I said, we'll do these two. Anyway, so what do we have going on here? So this is the reproduction. I will wind up this one, and hopefully it works. If you remember, my Mighty plain litho was missing the key. Actually walks pretty well. I don't see any sparking out of there. There's no gel. But of course, the original one doesn't have a gel. Now let's see if I can get any. There's not one spark out of this guy. Ah, there we go. I did see a spark. Finally. I'm going to get that on camera. All right. So there's some sparking, and he walks pretty well. So the purpose of this video, though, is to show you a comparison. I always tell you the devil is in the details, plural, and this may not show up as well on camera, but trust me when I tell you. First of all, you can see the silver. This is actually a very metallic-y silver. The shading is really the key here, because this has like tremendous shading going on that was really used on several Japanese toys. This one is just kind of a plain flat gray. If you like those flat gray Porsches, like stone color Porsches and Audis, this might appeal to you because it is that like kind of flat gray. I can tell you there's some embossing here. You see these are raised up. There's no embossing here. The white part, like the gears that you see here, they're more like of a tan color here. You can compare the lettering. It is fairly close. They have the red lines. Even the construction of the arms pressed into the tin, you can see there's a difference. Like these are open claws. The Robot 5, they're actually sealed. You see this? So in other words, they cut open the claw there. In the actual real Robot 5, they never cut open the claws. Now, since we're on the side here, look at the difference. You see the shading? A lot of these dots won't show up as well on camera, but if you look closer, just a lot of little dots like you would see in a comic creation, for instance. And not only is the silver a little darker, more metallic, but the shading just adds such a layer and depth to the colors that it makes a huge, huge difference. The shape of the head is a little bit different too. I don't know if you can pick that up here. This head looks a little bit different. The rivet details are larger here too. These are smaller. There's actually more rivets, and they're smaller. I like the bigger ones. Let's press the key back here. I mean, it's not bad though for what it is. See the difference there. I used to take pictures, side-by-side comparisons. I never did a video of a side-by-side comparison of an original versus a reproduction. And again, you can see the shading is just so much like more superior here. The only shading really you see on the head here, it's just kind of like this mottled, looks like a shadow more than shading. Nothing really on the shoulders per se, but over here it's just phenomenal shading work that they did. You could tell an artist here really like spent a lot of time to get this right. And look at the detail differences here. Those two red dots that are spread out, flanking the lower torso here. Over here, they're pushed together. You know, just even the font, like this on-off font versus this. This looks like a font that would have been on a typewriter in the 50s. This looks like something that came off of a computer. I mean, again, you're talking about a in the box, $20,000 to $25,000 robot versus a $79 robot. So if, price is your primary objective, obviously this would be a nice display piece to have on a shelf that you're not too concerned about spending a whole lot of money. Ear caps are pretty close. There's also an embossing effect here on this top gear. This isn't completely flat. There's no embossing at all. And that's pretty much it. The feet are also different shapes. Subtle, but you can see it more pronounced on the side and when you have them in front. So that's kind of a look at the main differences. See how wonky the rivet patterns up here are? I don't think I have to get into too much more. The legs here, by the way, this is also embossed. It's kind of sticking out. This is flat over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got bigger rivets on the front. 5 across, but smaller. Yeah, that kind of covers it all. See how the shape is different here versus here. Again, this looks like something that, you put into the computer versus something that you can hand draw. That's where you always get the key differences, I mean, think about when you're looking at art, when you're looking at either a reproduction, a print versus a painting, things like that. So that's a look at your Robot 5. Like I said, I'm not going to wind up this original because, like I said, I want to do a dedicated video on the originals, the pink and the silver, in their original box. And I'll post that because he deserves his own thing. But I've never, as far as I know, I have not compared originals and reproductions in video format. I used to do it on a website in pictures, but now you have it. So if you're thinking of buying one or somebody offers you one of these and says, hey man, I got an original and it's only $5,000, you can say, hey, look, I know that that's a fake. And again, this box, it's cool, it's nice, but completely different than what a Robot 5 box should be. So let me know if you have any questions. And you know what? If you have a blue Robot 5 for sale that's in really nice condition, I would be interested in purchasing it, and I would reward you handsomely for it. So you let me know in the comments, or you can email me direct. So with that, thanks for your time. It's greatly appreciated. And don't forget to thumb up the video if you like it. And let me know if you'd like to see other comparisons in the future. I'd be happy to do them. So with that, thanks again, and provided I have the toys, of course. And with that, thanks again, and I'll talk to you later.